Welcome to your Joyful Riches podcast, where you gain precious tips and tools for creating your beautiful, awesome, thriving life for you and your loved ones. This podcast is delivered alongside G100 Global Networking. And for this week, we are so thrilled and honored to have Maria with us. Maria, thank you so much for joining us today. It's such a delight and an honor to have you with us. Would you care to share with our audience what is it that you do?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I am a Las Vegas realtor. I service Las Vegas and the surrounding counties, Pahrump, Henderson. I've been doing real estate now for several years. And I relocated from New York, where I was a private banker and also a human resource director prior to my relocation here in Las Vegas.
Wow, that is so awesome. That is so amazing. So what brings you, because the real estate work, the real estate work is from what I hear and what I can perceive, is not like a walk in the park, right? It seems to be a lot of work, particularly if you have demanding clients like myself. And so, what brings you to become a real estate agent? Did you like grow up and looking at houses and said, you know, one day I want to become a real estate agent, or is it a journey that brings you there?
I think it was more of a journey for me. I have always been one of those people, whatever career I've had in the past, whether it was a human resource director, banking, I was always in some form of sales. And for me personally, it was always in the service of helping people, helping to elevate people. You know, I was very blessed in my life that I had a lot of stability growing up with my parents. They were immigrants. And I knew that as a child of immigrants, we relied on other people helping us. And that help elevated us and helped us move forward in the United States. And so for me to be a helper and pay it forward to all the people that helped my parents and helped us, even in school, teachers, you know, all those things really kind of put me in a line of service to help others and to also elevate and educate, because sometimes people don't have the access to it. But real estate has always been my passion. I've always understood the fundamentals of real estate as far as not only gaining wealth, but also creating stability in someone's life, because ownership means a little bit of control over your living situation. You're not at the mercy of someone else telling you where to go and what to do. You have a little control of your sphere, your environment, and you can create an environment that's permanent for yourself and your family. And that is also something that's really important to me, because that stability enables you to pursue the joys in life, the joy of ownership, the pride in ownership, and also create a safe haven for your family, because everybody wants safety in their lives. And so all those things combined led me down the path of real estate. But I love what I do. I love connecting with people. And yes, some clients are demanding, but it's, you know what, it's an elevation, you know, it's an education and elevation of me and my spirit to accept the challenge and figure out how to use that situation for the greater good and the betterment, and really connect with people. So it's just another level. You know, I believe the universe brings you things that you need to, that challenge you, because you need to accept that challenge in order to move up in the universe of helping people.
That is so amazing. So real estate work for you is not just about selling and buying home and making money, is what I hear. It's about, it sounds like it's about allowing someone to accomplish their dream to be able to have well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the side note of real estate, it's also created, I'm also part of a community of realtors that help elevate other realtors and help elevate other people in our community, and we volunteer. I'm part of the Women's Council of Realtors. And at first, I just thought it's an organization for real estate agents. When I joined, it has become so more for me because I've been able to connect with so many people that need a hug, need that elevation in their personal lives. So it's definitely created it's a bigger than what I thought it was. I thought I was just helping a few people buy houses. I realize now my job is so much more, and it's not a job, it's my life. It has really become my life. I love what I do every day. I wake up and think, what a great honor and privilege that I get to help people every day maneuver and work towards some sense of security and have that security. And also for me to advocate, because I love a good fight. I like advocating for my clients and helping them, because not all situations are easy. Not everybody has linear situations. So sometimes we need to advocate and plead their case, whether it's getting an offer accepted or selling their home or finding a lawyer that'll listen to our story and understand the gravity of the situation, and then petition the judge to say, hey, this is a situation that needs immediate attention. We don't have 6 or 9 months for the court system, which those are my proudest moments, when I break through and I get things done, when people tell me, absolutely not, you can't do it, it's not done that way. Those are my moments. That's when I don't get paid for those moments, but they bring me the greatest joy, to see them through.
And that is something that is very true now that I recall, because some of the listener here might have seen a photo of me and Maria. I met Maria because she is my agent here for helping me with my Nevada home. And I remember a time when I think you texted me, or I think you called me actually, and you said, Birgit, I got it. And the house that we bought here is what I forgot what it's the term, but it's basically sold at SEs or something like that. And in somehow, some way, you magically able to make the seller party agree to take care of certain things, as well as to allow us quite a reasonable sum to fix things up. And you're like, yes, I got it. It took me some 45 plus minutes on the phone to talk to the other agent, but I got it for you, Birgit. And I was like, wow, I mean, you didn't have to do that at all. As an agent, I already signed the paper. It's like the 45 minutes that you put in for your client just because you care and because you're passionate about what you do. I was like, wow, I sure got a good agent there. So
I just felt it was just once we had all the information. Mm-hmm. And we were blessed that we got it. Yeah. I did present a very good case because I was passionate about what I was saying, and there was truth in what I was saying, and I felt totally justified, to the point where I said, I'm going to fight this until I can fight it. And I never want to break a deal. I never want to harm my client, but I was so passionate about it. And I was able to prove my point, and that you were a good buyer, and that they would be foolish not to listen to me. And she knew. I know when the buyer is in a very strong position, that we should be able to get what we want, as long as it's justifiable. I won't do things that are not justifiable. I won't do things that are unethical. But I felt that it was ethical, and I felt that it was in your best interest that we really consider the dynamics of this. And And we were very blessed that they listened to me because I wouldn't get them off the phone for 45 minutes. But we did it. So I'm happy.
And that is so awesome. And yes, I remember you said a lot of the time, yes, this is, when we do this, it's good for everybody. It's good for everybody. It's an all-win case in a way that it is something that's good for them. As you said, I'm their top buyer in coming very strong, and it's beneficial for them to get such an easy transactions with us. And so it is something that, but I love how passionate, and some people could have said, oh, I'm just going to make it easy for myself because what would the buyer know, right? And so, but for you to be so caring is something that is, and to be so caring, and then at the same time is still making sure that everything's ethical, that everything's done correctly. It is just so beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, because those are the moments, once again, that mean so much to me, is those moments when, a client can say, thank you, thank you for servicing me, because, it's a very cut and dry industry. Like I said to you another time, 98% of us are really here to help. I mean, every industry has that 2%, and the 2% give us the, maybe not such a luminous name, but and yeah, my job is 24/7. I do tell my clients, if I don't answer past 8 p.m., it's because I'm sleeping. I need my beauty rest. But I also need to deflate from my day. I need to find that tranquil time, because I do get up at around, much to my husband's chagrin, I get up every morning at 5 o'clock for my
and that is something very true. Firstly, there are many times that Maria's answered things way past 9 o'clock, and then the next the next thing is she was texting you past 9 o'clock, and then she's texting you on something urgent at 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, does this lady go to sleep? Yeah. And that is very true, and that is very true where you say it, not like in every industry, not everybody is the beautiful flower, right? But that sounds like and actually I want to before I get to the next questions, I want to just check really quick here for people who are listening here. Are you able to help people if they are not already located in Las Vegas?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do a lot of relocation. I also do out of state. So for example, if you're moving from California and you're going to Texas and you don't know anyone, I can connect you to somebody in Texas. If you live in Florida and you're moving to Las Vegas, I can help you transition back and forth. I can find, I've done it. I've had people move from New York where I found them a real estate agent in New York to help sell their home. And then I work closely with that agent, because we have to do the timeline for dates, because New York is 90 days, Las Vegas is 30 days for closing. Big difference. And Las Vegas is on or before. New York is on or after. So I'll get automatic extensions for 30 days. So that can mess up the deals here. So I do that as well. So if you're leaving a state, I get you an agent, and then I work closely, and then we orchestrate here in Las Vegas. But all across the country, I am a part of Women's Council of Realtors. We have a network of agents across the country that have the same ethical values that I hold. These are people that at some point in my career, I've actually physically met them at conventions for Women's Council. I'm going to one in a couple of weeks. And it's really powerful to have those connections and to be able to help people no matter what, because, people need help. People need to know that somebody on the other side is going to help them. That's like with anything. It's, you take your car to a mechanic, you want to know that somebody at that shop is going to take care of you. So, and it's like that with anything in life. So yes, I'm able to help across the country. even a little bit in Italy.
That is super awesome. Tell us more about, so sounds like you yes, you are helping people uh either receive their home or release their home, but also you, from what I hear you and knowing what you do, you sounds like you do a lot of educating and a lot of volunteering as well. Tell me more about what is this. Tell us more about what is this Women Council. I also catches something about you were doing something with the bra. So
Oh,
what all
yes.
those about?
Yes, Bras for a Cause. That's our signature event. So Bras for a Cause is an organization that sends women on vacation after their chemotherapy. So what happens is that, people that go through something so traumatic need come back to their life, but their life is not the same. Their family may be the same, their friends are the same, but they are not the same. They have gone through something so traumatic, and sometimes it's very hard for them to really discuss and describe what they're feeling on a human level. And so Send Me on Vacation gathers breast cancer survivors. It's a group of about 14 people, and they send them on vacation for 1 week at a spa. It's paid for. The participant pays for their airfare, but all the accommodations are paid for. And what'll happen in that situation is they have like a reanimation. They have like a spa treatment. They also have meditation. They also have gatherings where they discuss what they're feeling. And then they have a mermaid ceremony with a photographer where they have their rebirth. I will be going to one of these retreats as a helper in January to Dominican Republic. I want to get more involved with that organization. My organization, Women's Council of Realtors, had a fundraiser in which men wore bras, and we volunteered, and they had like a 3 minutes on stage where they danced, and we auctioned off these bras for money, and we were able to raise 21,000 to send 21 women, because it's $1,000 per person, on vacation. So 21 breast cancer survivors will be going on vacation. I will be going at my own expense because I want to see what it's about and participate and help in the future. So
how awesome that is. That is so wonderful. First, the concept of men who wear bras to for good cause is quite entertaining, right? So if you want to see some cute pictures of men who wear bra, connect with Maria. She has some real
yes, there's some pictures posted, and we get them dressed up. We created the bra. We created the disco bra. We created the unicorn bra. I mean, we go all out. These guys come in, and my son was a participant, and he was a unicorn. He had a full unicorn inflatable costume with the bra. It's just very amazing, very good energy, very good vibes, and bringing so many blessings to these people is just amazing. I also do education in Women's Council. Part of my education in Women's Council is to elevate women into the council, but also to inspire them to not give in to their fears, their anxiety, to forge forward. Believe it or not, I have anxieties sometimes. I have fears, and every day every day we have to challenge ourselves. I mean, some days are better than others, obviously, but we need to get over those fears. We need to get over ourselves, because it's all in our head. We need to, so my goal is to help elevate women at any age, any stage in your life. You're never too young, you're never too old to reinvent yourself. I was, let's just put it this way, I was 50 years old when I decided to go into real estate full time, after having many careers. So it was a whole new thing. I didn't have any friends in real estate here in Nevada. I didn't have any real friends here in Nevada at all, because I removed from Las Vegas. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to show up. And one of the first things I did once I got licensed was they were having an event at the office, and I volunteered. And by me volunteering, that basically opened the door to a lot of other things for me in my career as a real estate agent. It was just a beautiful thing.
That is awesome. So this is something the council. This is something that sounds like where you help other, because being a real estate agent can be a very lonely work. I imagine it. It's depend on what you do. A lot of time it kind of like you running around finagling about 1,500 different things, right? And so that is something that allow people to be supported, sounds like, and then give back to the community as well. That is so beautiful. That's so awesome. Now, tell us more about this I think what is the vacations thing. Is that something for people who are in who breast cancer survival from Las Vegas, or it's all over the country?
It is national, so you can go from any state, even international. They actually, we're going Dominican Republic. They have different retreats all over the world, even in Italy, believe it or not. So yeah, I mean, it's a national organization. So we help women across the country, and that is the mainstay, to help as many people as possible, to spread the word, and really do a lot of other things. It really creates a bond for those women that go on these retreats. It's so powerful that they then, no matter where they are in the United States or around the world, they text each other. Now they have a support group that's unique unto them, that has a unique experience, because that can be lonely. Even in real estate, just to pivot off of that for 2 seconds, majority of real estate agents that get their license go out of the business within the first 3 years. It's almost like restaurants, so it's pretty powerful.
Wow, that is wonderful. So if you're listening to this and you know someone who has experienced has the unfortunate encounter with breast cancer, and actually nowadays, people, these are something people very private about, and so we never know who has this experience, this traumatic experience. I know many clients. My clients, as a grief coach, I know many of my clients who has cancer, who has experience with cancer, and it's about 5 people in their life who knows about it, and nobody else does. And nobody else does. They come up with whatever reasons to be off work, or if they they have their own business, they never have to give an excuse to anybody. And people just don't even know. And so if you know in particular someone who has experience with breast cancer, but if you don't, and you know somebody who knows a woman in their life, you might just want to share this message and about this opportunity to bond and heal, sounds like. And if they have any questions, apparently they can connect with Maria for more information about this good tip. This is so awesome that you are doing this. But yeah, it is cancer, like you said, it's just such a lonely word. Or if you happen to be in Las Vegas area and know a new real estate agents, then apparently these councils will be helpful. That's quite a statistic to hear that most give up in the first 3 years, and so let's share with them. But back to your work as an agent, do you have a tip or two? Firstly, for someone who is, regardless of where they are, or at least in the US, if they are thinking about purchasing a home, do you have 1 or 2 tips for somebody who said, you know what, I want to buy a home, and this might be a first-time home buyer, or maybe they have purchased home before, but is there any particular 1 or 2 tip for them to say, you're going to buy a house, just keep this in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I think the first priority is, when you're looking to buy a house, the reason for buying the house. I always start with the reason, like what is your goal for buying this house? Because when you have a goal, then everything comes to light. When, for my example, when I moved from my previous residence here in Las Vegas, I had a goal. I know we needed certain things. And so that was my motivation to reach that goal. That's number one, because if you're just all over the place, it becomes very overwhelming and very confusing. So once you know what you want, that's key, because things will come in your path that are those things. When you're all over the place, you're going to get a million things and feel frustrated and overwhelmed, and you're going to be like, forget it, I don't want to do this. But when you have a goal and you have an intention, those things will come to you. So just be clear on what the goal and the intention is for the purchase. The other thing is ask questions. Nothing is irrelevant. Nothing is stupid. As you know, I told you when we first met, any questions or concerns you have, you need to ask me. I don't care if you think it's unimportant, or ask me anyway, because it may not be that unimportant, or maybe I have a better way of doing it, or maybe I can help you do something a little differently that'll save you money. And I really feel that connecting with your client and bonding makes a big difference. So the realtor that you choose, you need to be comfortable. You need to interview them. You need to know that they understand you and that you have a mutual respect, and really ask those questions, because a good realtor will answer your questions. And if they don't know, they'll tell you, I don't know, give me a second, I'll figure this out. But that's really important. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ever ask. There's always a good answer to something.
That is beautiful. I love that. know your goal and get a good agent. And if you're not sure who's the good agents, you can connect with Maria, because she'll be able to either help you or refer you, right?
Yes.
And what about people? Since we're talking about this, what about if someone want to sell their house? Is there a one or two part? Kind of same thing, an advice, a tip that's like, just keep this in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Once again, if you're looking to sell your house, what is the goal? What is your goal in selling your home? Because you need to be clear. You can't be haphazard. There are people that say, well, I'm just going to put my house on the market, and when I get my offer that I want, that'll be it. Well, you're not clear, because you don't have a goal. I'm going to put my house on the market because I want to downsize. I want to put it because I want to upsize. Whatever the vibration is, you need to be clear why you're selling and believe in that goal, because or else the house won't sell, because your motivation isn't there. The energy isn't there to sell. You're just there. People that really want to sell really hone into what I tell them. So first off, be clear on why you want to sell and what your goal is. Where do you want to go, what you're doing. The second thing is find a good realtor and be honest with them. Be honest with them, find a good realtor, and listen to your realtor. Because if you trust your realtor and you have a good realtor working with you, they will always be in the best interest, and they will be honest with you. They won't keep your house on the market for 6 months with nobody coming to view it. A good realtor will say, hey, we're not getting any bites. We need to do this, and this. We need to make some modifications. And at the beginning, you'll know, because when somebody comes to view your home, you're interviewing them to sell your home. You should be able to gear where they're going with their strategy, because anyone looking to list your home will always have a strategy that suits you. So those two things make a big difference. I had a situation with a seller And we walked into the house and I went, "Ugh, there was so much stuff in this house." And I said, "What's the motivation?" He said, "I want to move. I want to move to such and such a state. I want to do this with my life. I need to move on with my life." I said, "Well, okay. There's a lot of things in this house." It was a lot of stuff, like almost clutter, hoarding. I don't know even know how to explain it. I said, in order for you to reach that goal, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Within 3.5 weeks, you could not recognize that house. It was no more clutter. It was pristine, that when I saw the photographer's pictures, I was in shock. And we got an offer within 24 hours. There were some minor repairs. And I said, "You don't have to do the repairs if you don't want, you know." And he said, "No, I want to sell my home." And he did these few minor repairs. And we closed within 30 days. So once he sent his intention and goal, he did exactly what we told him to do in order to sell the house quickly. And he was able to buy his new home within 30 days. So he achieved that, within 30 days of listing, because we needed about 3 weeks to get the house in order. But when you set your intention and goal, those things, it'll happen for you, because you're setting it in motion, you're setting the vibration. And have a realtor you can trust. Listen to your realtor, because it's just key. That is always the key.
Yeah, that is so beautiful, and I think that's such an important thing, that to have somebody you can trust, have an agent, a realtor that you can trust, and listen, because sometimes it's very interesting where people will hire a professional, whether it's a realtor or a doctor, and then they fight back everything, and so you're like, why did you hire me in the first place? So, but that is, I love that. And these next questions, just for fun, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. So I give you a warning ahead of time, right?
Okay.
But is there anything that is in your life as an agent? Is there one or two experience that, kind of like one of those, like your some of the most unique experience that you ever have, of you've been an agent for many years? Is there a one or two that jump out to you and you're like, wow, that was just such an interesting experience selling or buying a house or something like that? A memorable and maybe even comical thing.
Well, I did have one incident, comical now, but wasn't comical then. I was a newer agent. I was representing the buyer. There was some issues with the property, and we had agreed to have my buyer send a professional to review the problem and get an estimate, and then we would negotiate from there. Well, the person came, they did the job, and then they said to me, "May I use your bathroom?" And I said, "Okay, use the bathroom." And my glamorous real estate life. They used the bathroom, but what they didn't realize was that the water had been turned off because it was a vacant home. But he left and didn't tell me. So of course, my job as the agent is to go through the home and make sure that everything is locked and everything is as it was. And I passed by the bathroom and I was like, it smells very weird in here. And it didn't smell that way. What? Long story short, he had used the toilet and did not tell me that it was not a pleasant, it wasn't, there was no water in the tank, and that there was things in the toilet, including a lot of paper and unsightly things. Well, I managed to turn the water on in the house, but the problem was that he threw so much paper in there. The house was vacant, so I actually had to get a mask. I happened to have a mask in my pocketbook at the time, and I'm from New York, so we call it pocketbook, handbag. And I had to get 2 garbage bags, and I had to stick my hand in the toilet and get all the paper out and put it in the other garbage bag. I luckily for me, I travel with gloves, plastic gloves in my car in case I have to change a tire, put air in my tire. I'm dressed. I don't want to get grease on my hands. So I went down to my car, and I also carry garbage bags. And I happen to have a mask because when I fly on planes before COVID, I used to wear a mask on the plane because I had gotten sick a few years back. So the stars aligned, and I was able to clean out the toilet bowl. But yeah, and I was able to save the deal, and my client actually bought the property, but that was horrific. So my glamorous life, and I for some crazy reason, the universe keeps sending me houses with people that have a lot of sometimes junk or a lot of furniture, and I've had to clean out a few homes. I one time in one of the houses, they had a foam mattress on the second floor that was a king size, and me and the owner, she was maybe 5 foot, we folded this foam mattress because we had to get it out of the house. And I remember putting my body on top of the foam mattress, and she was pushing me down the stairs. It's a true story. I actually have pictures of this mattress. It's a true story. And she pushed me down the stairs. So because my body weight kept it folded as we went down the stairs. And we were able to put it in the garage, and then the junkman took it. But yeah, I've had a very glamorous real estate life, but those are the moments I live for, because those are the moments that I helped my client. Although the toilet bowl one, I don't think I ever lived for that one. That one was one I could have lived without. The other stories are all, I help my clients type stories, but
that is so interesting. And talking about real estate, now we're talking about real estate horror story, right? Talking about real estate horror story, it's actually when I was selling the house in California. It was very interesting, and we were allowing people to view where it's agent coming in, or just the clients, agent coming in with client, or just the agent themselves. So we have a few people, so we're not exactly which one. We have a few people coming in. Anyhow, talking about the toilet, so I left the house with my cat, my famous cat, Mr. Kid, took Mr. Kid out, and there were 3 people coming in to view the house back to back to back on this Friday evening. And so, and my agents was not there. The way in California, every state different, but in California, the agents not necessarily need to be there, and sometimes people prefer the agents not there. So she wasn't there, and after everything's done, she called me and said, "Hey, you know what? You can go back. Everything's all good. Everybody's done viewing." And so here I am, came back, and so I came in and put the cat away, let it feed him, come back. And then I went and to use the bathroom. And I said, "Oh, wonder why there's water on the floor." I thought I cleaned up the bathroom before I left to make sure everything presentable. Wonder why there's water on the floor. I didn't think about it. And of course, I bare feet in my house. I tend to bare feet in my house. I bare feet in my own bathroom. I was like, what if there's water on the floor? I went in anyway, and then used the toilet. And then I'm like, why my feet all wet? And silly me, I pick up my foot and I'm like, my feet all wet. So I was like, what the heck's the water? So I touched the feet and the water, or the liquid that's on the foot, and sniff it. And you know where this is going.
Yes, I figured.
Somebody has used the toilet, and it's spray all around the toilet, including even all the way to the back.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, I was, and thankfully that was toward the end of the showing time, because I was like, I called my agent. I'm like, you know what? We're not showing anymore. And she said, "Oh my God, you want me to turn around and come and clean your pot?"
I do my utmost to not let anyone use any facilities in anybody's home. I said, when I have buyers, I'm like, we'll drive to a Starbucks, or we'll drive somewhere and you could use it, but don't use it, because and I remember one time a few years back. One of my clients, the husband, every time he went into a home, would flush the toilet. And I'm like, why are you flushing the toilet? He goes, I want to see the water pressure. I said, well, if you're going to buy the home and we get an inspector, he'll check the water pressure. I said, but please don't flush the toilet. Well, he did it. He did it the next time anyway. And the toilet wouldn't stop running. Somehow, and you know, I opened up the tank. Eventually I had to turn the knob underneath the toilet. And I just looked at him and I said, do you understand why you're not supposed to touch anything? Because I know you didn't break it. It just so happened that something was wrong with that toilet. I said, but had I walked out of here and it overflowed, they would have blamed me. You know, so it just wasn't that particular toilet. Because the handle was down, everything was down, but the water just kept flowing. I guess the gasket wasn't connecting. But so I turned the bottom knob. I knew well enough to turn underneath the toilet, but I don't allow anybody to do it. I'm like, hold it in and we're going to find a place. Luckily we live in Las Vegas. We're a 24-hour town. Worst case scenario, we'll run into a casino and use the facilities there. That's the worst case scenario. But
That's
usually
very true. That's very true. Worst case scenario in Las Vegas, even in somewhere around the neighborhood, there's a casino and
yeah, there's a casino.
station.
So use the facilities there, because that could be problematic. And you know,
Yeah.
I've never experienced it with any of my listings, but I've heard from other people where they've used the toilet and the latch didn't go up and the toilet overflowed. That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. That's a liability nightmare. So luckily I haven't.
Don't when you're looking for home, don't use anybody toilet. That's another tip from Maria. And
Don't use the toilet. And if you're listing your home and you're gonna have people in your home, you could put painter's tape around the toilet bowl.
there you go. That's
A sign and say do not use. But in all honesty, the realtor that is with the client should not make that permissible.
yeah, exactly.
They shouldn't allow it, because again, especially when somebody's living there, that's like the biggest no-no. I did it for that person when he came, because the place was vacant. He had been there for 3 hours. He was like, please, can I use the bathroom? I was like, what's the worst that can happen? That was in my early days as an agent. Number one, I've learned, ask what the heck they're going to do. B, try to make them not use it as if you can. But if somebody's actually living in the home, that's even more reason not to make them use it. So
that is so awesome. Now, one question is, you mentioned you have a couple change in career, and I'm so glad that you choose to become an agent. That's how we meet. Do you have any tip? Because sometimes in this day and age, particularly after the pandemic, a lot of people say, you know what, I'm really rethinking what I'm doing. And it can be very scary for some people to change their career, to change what they do from one thing to another, particularly in your case, practically move out of move cross country. So if somebody was thinking either changing their career or moving to Las Vegas or from Las Vegas or anywhere or both, do you have perhaps one word of wisdom or something that you can help people if they're like, oh, I don't know, this is so scary?
Get over your fears, because they're here. You know, stick to the facts, not your fears. You know, our fears create stories, but sometimes the facts are the reality. So if you have a desire, a calling, a pull, then follow that. You know, and again, what is the goal? Is the goal to create a new life somewhere else, to start a new career? Not everything is motivated by money. I think sometimes people put money as the motivation, but it's not fulfilling. So my thing is, find something that fills your cup and things will flow. So when I did real estate, like I said, I didn't know anyone in real estate. I had no clients. I knew no one, had no clients. And basically I pursued it and I immersed myself in it. That's the other thing. So if you're going to get a new career, immerse yourself, create those connections for yourself, because one connection led to another connection, led to another connection. As a side note, I'm being installed as president of Women's Council. And that I went to my first luncheon in 2018, and it was a luncheon that I got invited to that I was not going to go. I was going to just say, oh, I had things come up and I wasn't going to go. And at the 11th hour, I knew that was my fear speaking to me. So I went anyway, because I said, you know what, Maria, don't give in to the fear, just go. I went and I realized, okay, this wasn't so frightening. This may be a good thing for me. And so I kept going, even though every time I went, I had a little anxiety of, I'm a new agent, I don't belong, maybe this isn't the place for me. But every time I went, I met one new person. And I kept meeting more and more people. And that connected me to more people. So and age is just a number. So don't think that you're too young, too old. I have to wait for something. My new saying in life is enjoy. I didn't make it up. It's from the Roman times. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Meaning live your life, enjoy, because we only have so much time here. And why not do the things that you're passionate and that you love? And it's our fears thinking, oh, I'm not going to be good at it, or what are people going to say? People are going to say what they're going to say. It doesn't matter what they say. Just do it. Do what brings you joy, because your joy, when it brings you joy, will bring other people joy. And the universe will bring you other people that you'll connect with. And so I've learned that through trial and error. I have been very blessed in my life that I've had several careers, but each career led me to the next career and led me to help other people. And so that is probably the most rewarding thing. So do it. I mean, I moved across country with 3 kids, and I ended up getting remarried. All things I never thought of. I never thought I would ever leave New York. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was a New York girl, born and raised, like that was it. I never thought I could love another city, care about another community the way I cared about my people, my tribe in New York. I love Las Vegas. This is an amazing city. It's full of life, full of amazing people. And I'm dedicated and devoted not only to Las Vegas, but to the state of Nevada, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. It's really interesting how that just evolved, because I was very blessed in that arena. But you need to put yourself in the arena, like Theodore Roosevelt said, the man in the arena. If you're not in the arena, you're just a spectator. And when you're a spectator, you're not giving your true self to humanity. And so get in the arena. I mean, it's get uncomfortable, do the things that make you uncomfortable. You will find people that share your passion and your joy, and those things that you desire will come to you automatically. The universe will bring them. I know it sounds out there, but it's true.
That is very awesome, and that is very true. Listen and look at the fact instead of listening to your fear. Whether it is changing career, or moving cross country or cross town, or for some people, I remember this was so long ago when we back in the day bought our very first home. It could be very scary, whether it's the first home, or I bought multiple houses by now. Each time you could be like, oh, I should do this and all these things. Listen to the fact, look at the fact instead of listening to your fear. Exactly. And allow a great support is what I hear. If you are in doing things with real estate, connect with Maria, but otherwise, listen to your to look at the fact, don't listen to your fear, and have a great support. That sounds so awesome.
Yeah, and I also am an investor, so I have investment properties here in Las Vegas. And, when I buy and sell, I have that anxiety. Is this the right decision for me? How am I going to make money on this? How am I going to manage? And if I listened to my fear that I wasn't capable, I probably would not have invested. But I listened to the facts and I had a goal. Facts, goal, produce will the universe will help you produce those results that you want because you're in the right vibration when you act on those facts. So I just, as a side note, I bought my first investment property in Las Vegas a few years before I actually moved to Las Vegas. I've never lived in that property. It has always brought me good luck and good fortune. I have it rented, and because I wanted to build my retirement, and I couldn't afford to do it in New York property. So I bought a 1-bedroom little place, and I lived across the country. I'd never done anything by myself. I was newly divorced, but I took the plunge and said, this could be a good thing. This could be a learning lesson, and I keep it as my lucky charm. I refuse to sell it because it's my lucky charm, because I went in with the best of intentions. And it was the first time I did it on my own. And, to own a property and to be a long distance landlord, if you will. I didn't have a management company, and I don't Airbnb. And I believe in building relationships with my tenants. My tenants are amazing humans. I have very good people that I rent to over and over again, so that's why I call it my lucky charm, because I've been very blessed with the people that have moved into that unit. And that's another thing. If you're an investor, always invest with the good intention. I am
But also that sounds like, let me just double check here in case somebody listening and curious. So it sounds like, in addition to do the regular real estate transactions, you also able to help people who wants to invest, because a lot of people nowadays, and like you say, it's very true, the housing prices in Las Vegas is hugely different than some other places like California or New York or some other things. So you are able to help people who would love to invest as well. You'll be able to give them advice on what's good to do and not to do, and all these good things.
Yeah, and I learned through a little bit through trial and error, because my parents own property in New York, and I grew up. My parents were landlords, but we were in the same building as them. This is Vegas, a little different, but I kind of knew the type of person I wanted to be as a landlord, as an investor. And so I build a rapport and a relationship with everyone that rents from me. And that's super important for me. So I like to build a relationship with them, and that they know that if something happens, I am there for them. So, I have a lot of tips and tricks for that, because it's very important to be organized as a landlord and have very quick remedies to help your tenants. If something goes wrong, you know how to help them immediately, whether you're across the country or across town. You can help them, because as a landlord, obviously hot water heaters, dishwashers, plumbing, things like that happen. But if you have a system in place and people in place that, I know a guy. So if you call me and you say, hey, Maria, something happened, blah, 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 I'm like, okay, I know a guy. Give me a second. That's important. And investing in your future, for me personally, that was a moment of acute freedom. And for me, that was my American dream, to own an investment property, to really say, hey, I could do it as a single mom with 3 children. That was my American dream. And then just life flowed from there. Like I said, many blessings from just taking
awesome. That is so
great. Not being afraid, listening to the facts, because had I had I listened to my fears or the fears of someone else, because sometimes you tell people things and they burden you with their fears.
Yeah,
Oh
that
no, and no, you know
that
what?
is so great. That is so great. So whether you are interested in investing and you are new and you like, how do I do this? What do I do? Or where you actually needing help selling or buying really in Vegas, but also anywhere in the US, or you know a woman in your life, or you know somebody who know a woman in your life, go check out Maria. Connect with Maria and connect with her. How do people connect with you, Maria?
You can connect with me. You can send me an email. I don't have a fancy website because I feel like for me, with a lot of the fancy websites and all those things don't necessarily bring the type of client that I want.
Mhm.
I kind of like to keep myself a little bit more low key. I'm very selective with the people that I work with. And I service everyone and I service everyone. What I mean by that, I don't want people to fall in love with an image of who I am. I want them to fall in love with me as the person that I am. And so I don't have a website, but I am on social media. I am on Facebook, and I also am on Instagram. I'm on Instagram a little bit more, and it's Maria Rita Vegas _ realtor.
Super awesome. And so connect with her on Facebook, connect with her on Instagram, and also and just whatever it is. And as Maria says, know what's your goal and look at the facts, don't listen to your fear, and allow support. And thank you so much, Maria. It's such a beautiful conversations. I'm so grateful that you helped me with my Nevada home here. And so thank you so much. And for those who actually looking to buy a house in Nevada, I would just say that there are many agents that can help you buy a house. There are a few that would keep helping you afterwards and continuing to give you advice on things that is not that is not the agent's obligations anymore. And I know that if anything happened, I can still call and or text Maria and still answer real quick, which is just amazing to have somebody who's like that. And so, but thank you so much for sharing your brilliance, your expertise, your tips, and your time with us. And for you, my friend, if you know somebody who knows a woman in your life, as well as anyone who might be interested in either selling their house or even more to build their dream by owning a home, or even for a step further investing, particularly investing where the houses price are still reasonable. Then please share these conversations with them, because we all want and deserve to thrive and want to be able to thrive. And thank you very much, my friend, for joining us today. It's such a delight to be with you again. And thank you again, Maria. This is Dr. BirgitteTan, United States Chairperson of G100 Global Networking and your grief specialist and founder of the International Childhood Cancer Charity. And I am so honored to be with